Ahoy, hoy, everyone. Welcome to another festive episode of The O Show. I'm O, and I'm here for your amusement. Okay, so, I don't know how I feel about today's review. I have a lot of mixed emotions about this movie we're going to talk about today. So, okay, recently I saw this trailer, and then I saw some people doing like some trailer reactions, and it seemed like, for the nostalgia of it all, like, it's probably gonna be something awesome. And last night, after a couple drinks, I stumbled upon this movie, and I said, oh yeah, that's right, they did make this movie, huh? So I may or may not have spent money to buy it, because it's only available on digital. And I watched the movie last night, and I said, okay, you know what, let me sleep on it. So I woke up this morning and watched it again just to be sure. And yeah, let's talk about this movie. So anyway, this is Urkel Saves Santa, the movie. First of all, this title's like really long. Like, okay, Urkel Saves Santa, the movie. Do we need to know? Duh, it's a movie. Okay, here's my thing. So, 2023 seems to be like the year of shit that we didn't ask for. And not only that we didn't ask for it, it seems to be stuff that ended a long time ago. And then all of a sudden they're like, surprise! Here you go. Like, an Urkel animated cartoon movie. Why didn't we get that like in, I don't know, 2003? It was like 20 years ago. I'll be like, oh, okay. Because the show was still, I mean, it ended, but it was still kind of relevant, I guess. And I'm very confused about this title, because the title is like Urkel Saves Santa, but did he though? Because he doesn't. Like, you would think a title that says Urkel Saves Santa, Santa's been like kidnapped, maybe Santa's in jail, Santa fell off his sled, Santa got run over by a reindeer, something that Steve Urkel saves the day by saving Santa. But he fucking never does that. Okay, let's talk about some positives of this movie. So, the movie opens up kind of similar to Family Matters, right? This is where Steve Urkel comes from, the show Family Matters. That was my show, y'all, back in the day. I could not wait for Friday to come so I could watch me some Family Matters and learn a lesson, okay? So I could be like, no, sir, I would not take drugs. Because Family Matters told me not to. Anyway, like the font and everything is kind of the same as the TV show. Kind of zooms in on a house like the TV show. Okay. You're starting to get me, okay. So we got Steve Urkel, who apparently is still a teenager, because I was really questioning his age, because, you know, Jaleel White is older now, so he still does the voice, which is point number one. At least they got Jaleel White to come back and voice Urkel, because who else is going to do that? So I was like, okay, he's still a teenager, because I was like, is he older? Is he out of school? But it's not said until the end of the movie that a Santa Claus, and I'll get to it, says like, oh, but you're still a kid. So I was like, oh, okay, he's I guess he's Family Matters age back then, even though you're making a movie now. So, they never show his parents, just like the show. That was, that was kind of confusing too. Like, is he living by himself? Like, where's he getting the money for all these inventions and shit that he's making? He has Urkelbot with him. Okay, so that's a positive right there. Urkelbot is like just there every day, like his personal helper. So, okay, I'll give you that. All right, we're doing okay so far. And Steve is just so excited about Christmas. It's his favorite time of year. He's helping his neighbors out with their decorations and things, just making sure that everyone is in the Christmas spirit. He sings a song. There's like 5 or 6 songs. I stopped counting after a while because none of the songs were like memorable to me. Like usually like there's a catchy hook or something, and I do love to sing along to a movie, but anyway, he sings a song. And so fast forward, and he goes to the mall because he knows like if he goes to that mall, it's going to be decorated. Like, and I get that. Like I used to get excited going to the mall and just seeing all the decorations that they did. Sometimes overnight, like you're there one day, nothing's there. You come in the next morning, and you're like, holy shit. So I get it, festive, right? But this year, it's just a plain old ugly, boring mall. And so he goes to the information desk and asks, like, what the fuck? And the lady's like, oh, business is slow. Like, we ain't got time for all that. And Steve Urkel is like, oh, hell no. So eventually he goes somewhere, and he finds this little section where there's a little Santa set up. So you got Santa, it's like a little workshop house thing in the back, and there's an elf. Okay, so he's like, oh, awesome. It's not big and huge and fabulous, but it's at least something. So that's when we are introduced to Robin, who is an elf, who's dressed as an elf, not a real elf. And Santa. So Robin the elf is voiced by someone named Tiana Cabacho. Like, I looked her up, and she seems to be like a voice actress because she does a lot of voicing for other movies and video games. So, okay. Didn't have a problem with her. Santa Claus at the mall is voiced by Roy Wood Jr. So hilarious. I knew his voice. I didn't look to see who was in the movie. I was trying to see if I could figure out by the voices. So yeah, Roy Wood Jr. plays the Santa. So he has some really funny lines. Whenever he was around, I did laugh. Right? So okay. Okay, fast forward a little bit, and Urkel gets in contact with this guy named Vonderfell, some stupid name. And like, it's this rich person who I guess is, I don't want to say he's his idol. Like, I guess he's just this person who, I don't know what he does, but anyway, he's this guy. And and so Steve like admires him and things, and anyway, Steve builds like this watch, and on the watch it's telling him every time he's able to brighten someone's day and make someone cheerful for Christmas, and every time he does it, he gets like a little ding. And not even just people, just things. Like he helped a snowman, and it was like, bing, you helped someone. So that Vanderfell to Padubadaba guy steals like his watch idea and creates an app. Right? He has like this thing flying around him, and it scans the watch, and stupid. Alright, so anyway, there's an app now that everyone is able to go to, and the part of the app is it's supposed to please Santa Claus, the real Santa Claus, not the mall Santa, and make them do things, even though they might not want to, and also say things, even if they don't want to. And each time they do something, they'll get points, and the more points you get, the more you're pleasing Santa Claus. So it's now just these people who are they're just in their phones. Like, okay, I mean, that's shit that's happening now. Everyone is just attached to their phones. So instead of enjoying Christmas and celebrating the holiday for what it is, everyone is just like, how many points did I get? Oh, hey girl, Merry Christmas. Oop, that's a point. Hey, you want me to help you with your bags? Oh, that's like 2 more points. So, but Urkel finally sees that this is actually really not what he wanted to do. There's so much happening in this movie, y'all. Alright, now, I'm going to back up a little bit. So he's always coming up with these like inventions, and he was trying to help the Santa at the mall, and he did this thing where he rigged the reindeer and the sleigh in the mall, and now it flies with boosters and everything, and he comes out of the sky window. They fly through, they're flying around the city, and they crash back into the mall on top of the dang like Santa setup, and just kind of destroys everything. And so later, Steve is back at the mall, and then he gets on one of these reindeer, and he flies out, and he's flying, and then somehow he ends up at the North Pole. Now, mind you, this movie is set in Chicago, and the reindeer runs out of gas, falls. He should be dead, but he's not because it's a cartoon, and he ends up meeting the real Santa Claus, who's a Yeti. I think they tried to explain that Santa translates in some language as Yeti. I don't know. So apparently he's at the North Pole. Santa sings a song. I think at this point we're at like song number 4 or something. Santa sings a song, and then he's all like, "Oh, but Steve, like, why are you doing this? And why are you like being an asshole? And you're just messing up stuff." And Steve's like, "Well, I just want to make you happy." He's like, "I don't need to be happy. Just be good. You can be good for the whole year. You're gonna get something, but don't be like fucking up shit." Okay. And Steve's like, "Oh, okay, I gotta do all this." So they go back to that Vonda Dubadaba guy, Dudley. I think his first name was Dudley. That's a stupid name. So they go back to this dude because he's like, "Shut the app down." And then Dudley's like, "Ha ha ha ha, I'm evil and no take backs." Okay, so even though there was no contract or anything, he's like, "I'm rich already, but whatever." And now, okay, I will admit this is a funny part here because they're going to like, it looks like they're about to fight it out, and Santa's like, "Oh shit," and Santa gets ready to like make a fireball, and before he throws the fireball, he looks, and Steve and Dudley are sitting down to play chess because they're nerds. And Santa's like, "Oh, I didn't expect that," and he has to do something with his fireball. He just shoots it out in the sky. Okay, I will say that part was funny. Steve wins. Something happens because it's Steve, and he's now at probably the third. Like, did I do that? They kept that. At least they did that. It wasn't used too much. I think he said, "Did I do that?" maybe 3 times, and one of the last times he did, he's like, "I sure did." he took ownership. This sky thing they're on crashes to the ground, and then he tells the people like, well, no, actually, no. When the thing crashes to the ground, it destroys the app, and then everyone's looking at their phones like, "Oh, there's an error. I need my points." And Steve's like, "You don't need points. It's Christmas." And then the movie's over. I swear, I'm not even joking. I'm so serious. That's pretty much. I did a shitty job of explaining it, but there's so much going on in this movie. Like, that is pretty much all you need to know. So, again, when did he save Santa? Okay, even if it wasn't like the real Santa, there was so much built up with him and Robin and the mall Santa that I thought, well, maybe the mall Santa's in trouble. He's helping him. Maybe this Santa is homeless. It's Chicago, you know. We got this migrant situation happening with us right now. Well, you know, I don't even know when this movie was made, so I guess we can't use the migrant thing that's happening in Chicago. But, you know, maybe this guy's out on the street and he's living with the homeless. I don't know. Or maybe he got divorced and he's kicked out of his home, and I don't know. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Oh my gosh. Okay, so other than this whack storyline, or if this is what your story is gonna be, why don't you call it like Urkel's Magical Christmas. Urkel's Confusing Christmas. It's an Urkel Christmas. Some stupid title. Don't call it Urkel Saves Santa. He never fucking saves Santa from anyone or anything. But so here's some stuff. One, they're actually, I'm pretty sure this is what it was, but in the beginning of the movie, when Urkel is singing a song, he comes through a house. He comes through the back way and works his way from the kitchen to the living room, and he's in the front of the house now, right? Whose house is it? It's totally the Winslow's house. Like, you could tell as soon as he walks through a back door of a house. I was like, oh, it's the Winslows. I thought Laura was going to be in the background, Carl was going to be on the stairs or something. There's no sign of any Winslows, but it's their house. And then you do meet some of the neighbors inside. One of the neighbors is voiced by Kim Whitley. I do know that. We have a Stefan Urkel appearance. Just a quick appearance. I'm not going to tell you what he did and where he was, but Stefan Urkel is in the movie. A lot of Steve's outfits from the show are in the movie. So if you are a big Family Matters fan, you will recognize like his lab coat, or there's the winter outfit he's wearing, or just his regular one with his clothes and a sweater that he wears like most of the time. So that's pretty cute. Like I said, he says, "Do I do that?" Not a lot, but I think it's like a good like 3 times. He uses big guy. He's referring to Santa, but he says big guy like in the show. So I thought that was cute. There's a bus driver who actually is kind of funny. She's voiced by Nicole Byer. So I did like the character of the bus driver. There's a weird joke about Jay-Z in this movie. Yeah, like I thought at first at one point they were talking about baby Jesus, but they replaced it with baby Jay-Z. I don't know. They mentioned him like 2 or 3 times in the movie, and there is a part where Jay-Z like does a voice, and it's Jay Farrow because he does Jay-Z's impersonation a lot. And then at the beginning, and the movie ends with Steve asking for one thing for Christmas, which is like Serbian Serbian donkey cheese. And at the end, once everything is all nice and set and it's a happy ending, Steve wakes up on Christmas to find Santa in his house, the Yeti Santa, with a man and a donkey, I guess from Serbia. Serbia, right? And he's like, "Ooh, my donkey cheese," and the movie ends. I'm not kidding. Y'all, okay, so let's rate this movie, shall we? So I can just stop talking about it. And let's never talk about this ever again. So, I got my little... Oh, hold on. Let me just pull from the other side. So, I have my 5 shot glasses, you guys. And out of 5 shot glasses, I'm giving this movie 1. Okay? You can have that one. That one. Wait, that one. Again, I don't know the history behind when they made this, but I'm pretty sure there was a reason why, if this was made like a while ago, it was probably shelved or something. And then now they decided to release it now. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. Did you know about this movie, number 1? Did you want this movie, number 2? If you watched it, am I crazy? Seriously, am I crazy? I watched it twice, y'all. Because last night I was like, there was alcohol involved. Let me just watch this again just to make sure. I guess I own the movie now. I wonder if I could like. Damn, I can't like burn it or anything and give it to someone as a present, can I? Yeah, you know what? Let me figure that part out. All right, y'all. So, all right. So, cheers. I guess. Ugh. Y'all. So, I don't want to waste any of this. Like, this is like Bailey's and butterscotch. If you mix it together, it's a dream. Okay, it tastes so good. All right, you guys. So that's my review on Urkel Saves Santa, the movie. A mess. Alright, so please like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. You know what? This is not staying up on me. And I will see you all in the next festive episode. So until then, TTFN.